Hey there. Oh, friends, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm not going to apologize for looking like this because I just got my workout in now. You know why? Because I spent the morning reading, sitting in the sun, all the things because my body told me to. And that brings me to why I am recording this video post-workout for you. Because I've been getting a lot of questions about the Inhabit Your Joy 5-day challenge that starts next week. And I realized that it's been a really long time since I've shared with you why, to me, the body is this beautiful access point for our inner wisdom, for our knowing, for clarity, to tap into your desires, to really inhabit your joy. And so I wanted to share a little bit of a story and a few kind of FAQs, questions that I have been getting that I thought might help you connect to this idea. Whether you join the free challenge with me or not, maybe it just gives you something to consider. So let's go back for a second. You've heard me perhaps talk about yoga and my love of yin yoga, and I'm going to get into what that is in a second, but I want to share a secret with you. Way back when, I don't use the word hate very much, I loathed yoga. I was a runner, slow runner. I was a runner. Shavasana for me, laying there still, was like the worst thing ever that I could possibly imagine. It wasn't until I got pregnant, so Samantha just turned 17, that I realized, this is interesting. And then when I was doing some writing and traveling a lot, I noticed that I was seeking out yoga in all the places I was traveling. And then I got to experience it for an entire week prior to morning hikes. And I thought, this kind of feels good. And what ended up happening was that I ran my 5th marathon in 2015. And at that time, all of my marathons had been about a goal, an outcome. There was zero acceptance, zero self-compassion, zero self-love for me, for my body, for this thing that helped me cross the finish line at that 26.2 mile mark. And that's about when my yoga practice kind of found me. And when I say it found me, it really did, because when I rolled out my mat, I realized that my body on any given day was going to be different. Right side to left, morning to evening, balance, no balance, how far I could go, how far I couldn't go, right? It was the ultimate teacher in acceptance and compassion and self-love. And the more I started practicing, the more I realized it was like bells went off, right? This thing that I had always known, that my body was the source of everything I needed. I was literally being taught that over and over again when I'm on my mat, remembering all the other times in my life that by simply tapping into my body, by listening, that I would be able to access deep clarity, deep knowing, the knowing that doesn't happen in my brain. And I'm going to get to that in a second. So I started practicing more and more. And let me be very clear. My first 2 years of yoga, when I was really practicing, and when I mean practicing, this was physical asana, because actually there are so many different parts of yoga. There's meditation, there's studying, it's being on your mat and being physically doing shapes is only one small part. But even those first 2 years when I was on my mat, I was very much doing yoga. It was still outcome-based. Could I get into crow pose? Could I do an inversion? The answer was no. And it wasn't until I found yin yoga, which is a very different practice. It's not about muscles. It's about the fascia. So your hips, this is the connective tissue, right? This is the stuff where your emotions live. It wasn't until I found yin yoga, or perhaps it found me, that I realized, oh wait. Because what happens in yin yoga, I just want you to imagine, right? So you can't see my legs, but here I am folded over my legs, right? If I stay here for 3 to 5 breaths, I'm gonna feel my hamstrings, I'm gonna feel my low back, and I'm gonna try to reach, right? You can't see me, but I'm reaching for my toes. As opposed to yin, which is not about going as far as you can or as far as you think you should, but about allowing gravity and your body to bring you in to find that edge of sensation. You want your body to talk to you, but then you stay there for 90 seconds, up to 5 minutes, and sometimes more. And it's in those moments that the body starts to say things when we're not trying to fix, when we're not trying to distract ourselves or numb ourselves. That's where our clarity lives, friends. That's where the trust, the belonging, the sense of ease and peace and all of the things that we crave, that's where it lives. And that is why more and more I have incorporated yin into my daily practices, into everything that I do with my coaching clients, at workshops, on retreats, because to me it is such a beautiful practice for listening, for allowing, for finding ease even when things are a little uncomfortable, right? And I don't know about you, but I think we could all use that. Ways to not ignore the hard stuff, but be with it and still show up aligned as our truest, most grounded, most rooted, most nourished self. And why is that important? Well, because when you show up as that version of you, you can ask for what you need without the guilt. You can set boundaries around what matters and what doesn't. You can discern. You can catch yourself from going down the rabbit hole of stuff that isn't yours. So let me share, this morning I was upstairs, morning practice, in a shape, listening to my breath. So I was just seated and just a crisscross, and I was kind of lightly folded over my legs. And I was paying attention to my breath. And what I noticed was my heartbeat was really, really, really loud. Like an echo chamber. It was immersive almost. And I started thinking about my heartbeat. What does it mean? What does it... And guess what happened when I started thinking about it? The sound of my heartbeat, the echo chamber, dimmed. It wasn't as loud. It wasn't as clear. So then I was like, I'm curious. What if I just breathe again and notice the heartbeat? And guess what happened? It came back really loudly and clearly. So the message from my heart this morning was, listen. The more I listen, the more I hear. The more I think, the less I know. Thinking has a place. Strategy, planning, details, they have a place. And yet, what if that wasn't our go-to source of information? So I'm telling you apparently all the stories. When I was young, I asked a ton of questions. It's amazing that I still am curious, because when I would ask questions of my parents, they'd say, go write a report. And the way for me to do research for said report was to open up the Encyclopedia Britannica. So I wrote reports on cotton and the state of New York, and it's where I fell in love with Egypt, all the things. I share this with you because our first inclination is to go find answers outside of ourselves. And what I want you to know is that you actually have a doorway to the answers that you're searching for inside you. It's in your body. We just have to start to connect. We have to build a relationship with that version of yourself. So that's my invitation to you, to say, come join me. Come explore how to inhabit your joy from the inside out with your body as the compass for this clarity, for this wisdom, for your desire. We start next week on Monday. I'm going to put the link below so that you can sign up. It's free. There will be prizes. It's going to be an amazing time. You'll learn some things, and there's no experience required. Here's the other thing that I want you to know about Yin Yoga. The shapes that we're going to do, they're going to be little mini practices during this challenge. So 5 to 10 minutes amazing, right? That you can do in the morning, you can do midday, you can do in the evening, whenever. You can be dressed however you'd like, right? And so just know that this isn't about looking a certain way. That's probably why I love yin so much, because it's really about you finding your edge, your place where the body has something to say. It's not about what my body looks like. So this is your invitation. Come join me. I would love to see you there. Love to help you connect with your body and your wisdom and your clarity and your intuition and maybe even your desires in this way. Let me know what questions you have. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to inhabit your joy, our joy all together next week. Bye for now.